Hello, I'm Mr. Howard, and I teach classes here at FHN in the Communications, Video, Theater, and English program that are all electives. And so what I'd like to start today is to talk about the media classes. The first level media class is MediaComm, and MediaComm is a class that meets your VPAA and your OLE. All of these classes do. And it really is a class about making videos and learning how to make videos. It's a good time. It's not a big homework class. Most of what we do is here at school. These skills are valuable to you as you go off to college also. They can be used here at school. And we make videos like music videos, public service announcements, commercials, short movies. And really the hope with MediaComm is that you want to move into the broadcasting class, which is the next class I'm going to talk about. Broadcasting class is the class that is responsible for the announcements here in a typical year every day, or Tuesday through Friday, for 10 minutes every day. The prerequisite for this class is the video production, or the MediaComm class, and there's an application process. Stop by my room if you're interested. If you were in MediaComm like last year and you still want to be in it, we hope you'll do an application. And the primary goal of the course is to produce the daily announcements. You'll create video, produce, direct, and be a big part of the show that happens here every day. So that is FHN TV. That'll take place, depending on the numbers, first and second hour next year. So please stop by and get an application. The next class we're going to talk about is called Film Projects. And the one thing I need to say about broadcasting is, don't feel like because you're in a broadcasting class you have to be on air. Only the people that want to go on air go on air. The Film Projects class is probably a little bit more for the person who's not interested in the news story piece and maybe more interested in writing short movies and producing those. And a lot of times they can go out to competition. This course is for 11th and 12th graders. 10th graders are welcome as well, as long as you've taken that MediaComm class. So those are the three media courses hopefully you'll get involved in. The next one program we're going to talk about is theater. Here at FHN we have theater classes. We have Theater 1, which is the entry-level theater, and we do a lot of improv. We try to do a trip to Chicago when we can. FHN Theater goes to New York or Disney World every other year, so we try to get you guys into theater areas. And that is for the performance-based student. If you just want to try it, it's good for you. It's good skill building. We do a lot of improv, short plays, that kind of stuff. And then there's an advanced level theater that is maybe for the kids that have done more, that would like to dig a little deeper into theater. We do one-act plays, we do playwriting, and a performance for the elementary students, usually dealing with bullying or something like that. And finally, there is a program we do called musical theater. If you have always wanted to be in a musical, but a pandemic took it away, or possibly the sport you play is at the same time as the musical, this is great for you. Or if you want to build your skills and get ready for those bigger parts, feel free to sign up for musical theater. We typically do a show at the end of April if we have enough students sign up for the class, and we'll do things that are, there's always choreographer. We bring a choreographer in for dance. Vocals are done usually by the music teacher, and so it's a great opportunity for you to build some skills. And finally, there's technical theater. Technical theater is a popular class here at Northern, typically full, but so sign up for it. That is the class that is responsible for doing the behind-the-scenes stuff for all of the different productions we do here. Last fall, before we were shut down, we were getting ready for Clue. The tech theater class designed the set, they did the research, and for costumes, set, colors, all that. And then actually now this semester, theater's putting it together and painting it and taking care of it. So technical theater is a great way to learn those behind-the-scenes skills. And finally, the last class that I want to talk about is the Senior English Elective. That is really a career-focused class in English. It's about finding your passion and transferring that into a career choice. What you have to do for the rest of your life is something that you want to make sure you're making that right decision. So think about taking English 12. It is a hybrid class, so it is a 2 days a week you do your work off campus or at home, and 3 days a week you meet. It is a great class, especially if you're not sure exactly what you're going to do. There is a presentation in it. You do a lot of research. You do a job shadow. There are field trips that we take to visit different types of career areas like manufacturing. We do some college visits. So it's a great way. It's a very, very different English class. There's the reading, the writing, the vocab, but it's just a different avenue to get there. So that's kind of what I teach. Elective-wise, think about signing up for them. Think about broadening your horizons and doing something different in your class schedule next year. Thank you for your time.
Hi everybody, my name is Mrs. Morrison and I teach senior English. I'm also a Project Next 9th grade teacher and I get to be the student government advisor. I'm here today to tell you guys a little bit about the senior English class I teach. It is called Senior Reading, Writing, and Leadership. This is a project-based learning class. And it has a teaching and learning style that allows you to really actively engage in real-world situations and scenarios and hopefully some personally really meaningful projects. So it's a class that I truly love and hope that you would maybe enjoy it as well. So in the classroom, it's going to look like a normal English class. There's going to be reading and writing, vocabulary. There's some leadership simulations as well as normal English fun that you get in any senior class. This is also a class that a lot of student government kids try to take because we do work on some of the projects that we try to plan in student government. It's a class that Mr. Gregory comes in and spends some time in as well with the leadership students. But some of this service learning piece of that you get to engage in, we have a strong relationship within our school with our CI students. Those are cognitively impaired students. So we spend time with them playing games in a non-COVID world. We have done field trips with them and really kind of furthered our relationship. We also tutor at Sibley Elementary School in Grand Rapids, and that is something that relationship is really strong. Typically we tutor in a first grade classroom, and so that's kind of a weekly trip that we go on every Tuesday. So during our class period we tutor there. And then something that we just started last year, a brand new program which was really exciting, we called Senior to Senior. So we went to Rest Haven Homes and we did arts and crafts with the seniors that are living there. So that was an elderly facility and that was a really exciting thing. So as you can imagine, this year in a pandemic, we haven't really got to do a lot of the things that the class is centered around, but next year hopefully that will change. So the objective of this class is really to develop you as an individual, furthering your abilities to lead others, to get extraordinary things done. You will develop your capacity to guide others to places that they have not been before. It is necessary to understand who you are as a leader before you can really encourage other people. So that's kind of the goal of the class, is to hone in on some of those skills that some of us don't naturally think that we're leaders, but this class gives you that opportunity to really step up and work together. It is an English class, so we follow all of the normal Common Core standards. Our days just look a little bit different because we kind of engage in some different things. I have included a couple testimonials just because this has been a positive situation that a lot of kids have enjoyed. So one student says the ability to use class time to impact the school and the community was the best part of this class. The projects like the nonprofit and the school store were great. Keep doing unconventional projects. All of the group projects helped me learn about myself and grow my leadership skills. And then the last student said this class really challenged my thinking. I was forced to develop real life skills and work on innovation as a team. I am beyond thankful for this opportunity. So if you are interested in any of the things that I've shared, if you are interested in developing your leadership skills, or if you're part of student government, if you had thought about it before and never really done it, this would be a really great class for you. So again, the class in your school handbook is going to be called Senior Reading and Writing. Thanks, guys.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Rhodes, and I'm going to talk to you about the Forensic Science elective. So first of all, what is forensics? Forensics is something that includes a lot of different branches of science. It's all about applying any type of science to legal issues, which typically means solving a crime. So how can science support, lawyers and police officers in getting to the answer about who committed a crime? So there's lots of different specialties involved. There's the people that work at the crime scene, there's the people in the lab, there's the people that are witnesses in court, and we get to learn about some of all of it. So lots of different topics and techniques that we learn about. You can take it either in the fall or the spring. It's 2 different semesters, so you can take it for the full year or just one or the other of the individual semesters. It does count as a science credit, and really the only prerequisite is that you should have completed biology successfully. A lot of people wait till junior or senior year when their other science requirements are done. But really you can take it anytime, kind of sophomore year on. And we do tend to do a lot of labs and activities, so you want to make sure that you've got good attendance. Some of the things we learn about first semester, we do a big unit on general observation skills. We kind of play detective a lot, do practice with little different mysteries and being a good observer. And we also do a lot of mock mini crime scenes just to learn how to do all the different pieces, like taking photos, doing a sketch, collecting the evidence. Death and entomology is where we learn about how do they calculate time of death, what sort of things do you figure out from an autopsy, what can insect evidence tell you, what sort of things go on during decomposition, and everything that happens after death. Fingerprinting is a fun unit. We obviously look at your fingerprints. We learn about all the different patterns that you can have and how to match a mystery fingerprint to a crime scene. Handwriting, we collect handwriting samples from all of us. We try to forge each other's handwriting. We write ransom notes and see if we can figure out who wrote them. And then we also learn about how to tell the difference between real money and fake money, which is important for all of us to know. Hairs, fibers, and textiles is looking at human hair, animal hair, fabric, all the different things that you can look at under a microscope that might be found at a crime scene that seem really small but end up being important. And glass evidence. Both semesters have a final crime scene as well, which is a big part of your grade, where we sort of tie together all the different topics and techniques that you learned in the course of a semester. So you'll see the caution tape around the school, you'll see people walking around, taking pictures, measuring things, collecting evidence, and then we tie it all together in the lab and put together all the information to figure out who committed the crime. Second semester, some different topics we do. Chromatography, where we look at how ink separates from a writing sample and how you can match a pen to a note, which is important for things like ransom notes, stuff like that. Ballistics, which is guns and ammo. Cast impressions and tool marks, we look at shoe prints, obviously tool marks like it says, teeth marks, tire tracks, anything that can leave a physical 3D impression in a surface. Blood and blood spatter is a fun unit where we do lots of labs and see how the fake blood that we use, kind of like what they use in the movies, but behaves like real blood. We see how speed and force and things like that affect the pattern that the blood leaves behind at a scene. DNA fingerprinting, so some review of what you learned in biology and then going further into what are they really looking for when they are saying that DNA is a match to a person. And anthropology, we learn about bones and skeletons and all the different things we can learn about a person from looking at that. And drug identification and toxicology is important in cases where someone was maybe poisoned or things like that. And then another final crime scene different from the first semester. So people who should take this class, anyone who loves science, I think will enjoy this. If you're interested in a career in something related to forensics, or if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to work in law enforcement, all these things would be good to have a background in forensics and know what it's about. If you enjoy just learning about cases, solving mysteries, learning about, how did they figure out who committed a crime, if any of that sounds good to you, you'll really like this. We also do a lot of activities and group work, labs, things like that, so you should enjoy those sort of things. And if you love a good documentary or crime drama, you will also like this class because we do watch a lot of those things. So that's forensic science. I hope that sounds good to you, and if it does, I highly encourage you to take it because it is a fun class.
Hello there, Forest Hills Northern students. My name is Mr. Newmeyer. I teach math here at Forest Hills Northern. And one of the courses I teach is AP Statistics. And I'm here to advertise that to you. First of all, let me just start off by saying that if you're looking for good times, parties, field trips, projects, collaborative learning, this class is not for you. You just need to pick something else. This is the book we use. My goal is to make you numerically literate. Now, we were given 2 minutes to do this video. Some of my colleagues took 4 to 5. They're numerically illiterate. So we want to try to use numbers wisely. When you're watching the news at night or reading articles and they're giving you statistics, my goal is to help you not be a dolt, okay? And you want to make good decisions in life, so you need to understand statistics. You have to do a fair bit of reading in the course, and you have to be able to write well, and some of you probably are mathematically genius-like and don't write well. Our goal will be to help you write well. I will tell you that obviously we've been on COVID the last year. I would call my current class, who are a great bunch of students, we've been on the AP Dole train, which means we've had a lot of take-home tests and quizzes. Please understand that if you take the class next year and we're back to normal, we're going to be doing a lot more on our own. So you should take the course if you are preferably capable of pre-calc and calculus. However, I have had students come out of Algebra 2, and students who come out of Algebra 2 and let's say are not necessarily pre-calc capable, it's about a 50-50 gamble in terms of how they're going to absorb the course and how hard they're going to find the material. If you're in question, please talk to me or your current math instructor. I will tell you, we will have a lot of fun and you will learn a lot about mathematics. Thank you.
I'm Mrs. Bush, and I teach Human Anatomy and Physiology, and that is a science elective class that typically juniors and seniors have taken. I have had a few sophomores take it in the past, and you have to have taken biology and successfully completed it, and also it helps to have had chemistry. Students that are interested in this class typically are wanting to learn more about how their body works, how to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and might be interested in physical therapy, occupational therapy, health science careers like medicine, vet medicine, sports medicine or athletic training, nursing, those types of careers. But people that don't want to go into that type of a career can still take the class and certainly learn a lot about how to maintain a healthy lifestyle. It's a really fun class. We get to do a lot of hands-on work with a cat dissection. On this slide you can see the breakdown of topics that we study throughout the year. And we start with some cell biology review, some tissue study, working with microscopes a little bit, some skeletal and muscle anatomy and physiology, and then we do a comparative cat dissection in November and December. We round out first semester by finishing with blood, and then second semester we start with the cardiovascular system, pulmonary, which is the respiratory system, gastrointestinal or digestive system, renal, which is urinary, and then reproductive systems. And then finally we finish the year by going back to our cats and doing a second round of dissection, which is the internal organs, the body cavity, and the vasculature, which means the blood vessels. So on the next slides, they're just going to cycle through and you can see some pictures of things that we study. Muscular system. This is a blood smear, which means we're looking at red blood cells and white blood cells. Here's a picture of students dissecting the cat, looking at muscles. This is a zoomed in view of muscles, and we study how they work. This is a nerve cell. We look a little bit at nerve function as well. Here's some students looking at the dissection or the digestive system of the cat and the intestines. Here's students looking at the heart, the cardiovascular system of the cat. We study the special senses in the spring with some extra projects. And as you can see, the kids are having a lot of fun, but doing a lot of hands-on learning, which is perhaps gross at the beginning when you think about dissecting a cat, but it's a one-of-a-kind experience, and we have a lot of fun along the way. So the rest of these slides just give you a little overview of, again, various topics that we study. We look at common health problems. That last slide of cardiac stenting talks about how to fix a blocked blood vessel, which is quite common. So we look at case studies of fictitious patients in each of our units and get to kind of dabble a little bit with how to fix common problems and how to even prevent and avoid common problems. So it's a very fun class. You learn a lot. There's a lot of vocabulary acquisition, and then there's the anatomy and the physiology components like I was describing at the beginning. And that means that we study structures, but we also study functions. So the anatomy is the structure side of things, what it looks like, where it's located, what its name is, and then the physiology aspect is how it actually works. And we incorporate topics of when things go wrong and how to fix common problems. So think about anatomy and physiology if you're interested in an upper level science elective. Thanks.
This just in. Industrial technology is freaking awesome. I'm Mr. Gallagher, like it says right there. And industrial technology is comprised of bench woods, advanced woods, and gone boarding. Gone boarding is taught by Mr. Kemperman, Mr. Curtis, and myself. But if you want to be in the cooler section of gone boarding, take it during the spring or winter and spring section. But to start us off, we have bench woods. Bench woods is the basic level woodworking class. You learn how to use power tools, specialized equipment, and we even get to create our own projects using the CNC, where we can engrave pretty much whatever you want to into your project. It also accounts for a VPAA credit. Moving on to advanced woods. Advanced woods is, well, it's just that. It's more advanced than bench woods. So the more you take the course, the more creative and self-inspired you get to be. You can create things like longboards, skateboards, pretty sweet and awesome epoxy river tables. And it also, I had to slide over real quick for a second. My camera person told me I was out of frame. Anyway, it also accounts for a VPAA credit. This is a pretty easygoing class, and you just get to be as creative as you want to be.
Bonjour, my name is Mrs. Heinlein, and I'm in charge of the French program here at Northern High, and I'm here just to tell you a little bit about what we do in French. So to start, I have just a quick song for you, and one of my favorite things to do in class is to do music. So we're just going to listen to a little 30-second clip of one of my favorite songs recently.
C'est Stéphane le gars. Let's get it. Israël est magnifique, mais un peu problématique. Chez nous on disait m'aspic, comme si comme ça c'est hattrick. Par exemple sur Tel Aviv y'a tout de tout sans déconner. Mais c'est toujours pas parfait, attends je vais tout expliquer. Hey, Katine Bayam Richard, vacances au ski sur le Hermon. Les mademoiselles en
So that's just one of my favorite songs recently. We do a lot of pop songs, and then we do other kind of silly songs just to learn French. We like to work hard and have fun. What you can think about reasons to take French. So why would you take French? Taking a language strengthens your application for college. So there's some practical reasons. French is the official language of the UN, the EU, and the Olympics. You can save money by taking AP. For my 8th graders out there, ours is a 4-year program, so in your senior year you can dual enroll at Calvin and get some college credit that way, which is kind of cool. And in the whole world, French is the 2nd most taught language. So that's kind of a cool fact. What will you learn about if you're going to take French 1? Basic greetings, families, school schedules, culture. We like to do lots of cultural discussions as well as learning the vocab. Clothes, fashion, housing design. You get to design your own dream house. Some of the other things that you could look forward to, there's a couple non-school sponsored trips, and hopefully if we get things back to some normal in 2022, I'm hoping to go to Quebec. This is a French immersion camp, and it's really unique. It's like a summer camp, but you're doing all winter activities. That's a lot of fun. And another possible trip in 2022, fingers crossed, would be a trip to Paris and Strasbourg, where you have a chance to stay with a family, possibly, or just do some sightseeing in Paris. And those, again, are non-school sponsored trips with something we do on the side. Another opportunity when you're in French is to host an exchange student from Strasbourg, France. And these are some of the exchange students that came a couple years ago. And of course this year they didn't come, but next year we're hoping they will. Some other things we do in French, we have lots of parties. We like to celebrate. We go down to the middle school, and in a normal year we have lots of food, and that's a big part of the French culture, so we enjoy that. And lastly, I asked some students why they might suggest taking French, and here are some quotes that they gave me. There's lots of different reasons. We like to be interactive and have a lot of fun. We go outside when it's nice and do some things outside as well. So I hope to see you in French. Again, I'm Madame Heinlein, and stop by and say hi if you have any questions. Au revoir.
Hi, I'm Ms. Schatz-Flickema, and I teach psychology and AP psychology here at Northern. And I am excited to have you all take my classes. Keep calm and study psychology is our theme. 5 reasons that I think you should take a psychology class. Number 1, you learn a lot more about yourself, find out what kind of person you are. We study personality and do some different types of testing. We also look into the different schools of psychology and look at what perspectives and what careers you might be interested in. You learn more about others. We study love, dating, relationships, and as well as a lot of other topics that are fun and I think fascinating, such as dreams. And this picture is about inception, a dream within a dream. So we hope that you'll be interested in some of those subjects. Hypnosis would be some others. Some of the subjects we cover are a little bit more controversial, like Sigmund Freud and some of his theories, the Oedipus complex and repression. Do they really exist? Are there false memories? Can they be implanted? Some of these topics we look at in psychology classes and AP psychology. And finally, I think the most important, you get to explore the uncharted territories of the mysteries of the mind. Psychology allows you to go in depth and look at your unconscious and some things that you would not get to study in other classes. Additionally, if you take AP Psych and you pass the test at the end, you can earn college credit. So you do have some options. The intro classes is 1 semester, AP class is 1 semester, and you can do both. Ideally speaking, you would take intro in 10th or 11th grade, and you would take AP as a senior in a perfect world, but you can do it in other orders as well. If you have any questions, come see me in West 32 anytime or email me. Thank you for listening.
Hey Northern, I'm Mrs. Duffy and I teach AP Chemistry. So if you want to know a little bit about the course and what you should be doing for AP Chem, then there's some information on the screen here for you. Benefits of AP Chemistry: it is a really academically challenging class. It may be more academically challenging than what you previously experienced. That means it's going to teach you to think at a higher level, which is super good for all kinds of learning, not just for AP Chem. You do new concepts and new situations, complex problem solving, really good preparation for college and more difficult courses. And as with all AP classes, you can take the exam, and if you score high enough, you get credit. Or I've had a lot of students take it just to prepare for college chemistry and start with a strong science GPAs. A lot of the higher sciences, like medical schools, are going to require a science GPA. And so to have a really good intro chem score is a nice thing for that. It shows you're challenging yourself on a transcript. Admissions officials know that AP Chemistry is a challenging course, and they are going to consider that. And as hard as it can be for some students, it's almost always easier than college chem, because I can help you, your classmates can help you. It's a smaller amount of people rather than a large chemistry lecture. And so that's especially useful if you do struggle to get some help and things like that, rather than trying to figure it out on your own. Who should take AP Chemistry? We're looking at anybody who's thinking about chemistry, biochemistry, chemical engineering, environmental chemistry, pharmacy, any health sciences, nurse practitioner, physician's assistant, doctor, veterinarian, all those. And then, like I said, a couple of the engineering types. All of those are going to end up using AP Chemistry or using chemistry in college, and therefore you could test out or have a stronger foundation. And if you have any questions, come see me in East 34 or send me an email.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Veltman, and I teach a lot of different VPAA classes that you need. The first one is culinary arts, and the class, it's awesome. You cook in class 2 to 3 times a week. We make different types of cookies. We make homemade pasta using pasta machines. We make breakfast. We have something also called Free Cook, and so every Friday you and your group members get to make whatever you would like. We talk about nutrition. We do cooking competitions. So if you've ever seen the TV show Chopped, we do some different Chopped competitions, and also Cake Boss. We have a brand new facility coming in, and it is going to be ready in January of 2022, and then we'll move in then. And we have 6 kitchens that will be set up in the back of the room, so come join us for that one. Our next class that I offer, it's Advanced Culinary Arts. So after you take culinary, you can take advanced, and advanced, same thing. We cook 2 to 3 times a week. We get into cooking competitions. We cook from regions all over the world, and we also take a couple field trips that have to do with cooking. The next class that we have is interior design. So what we're doing is we're looking at designing the insides of houses, or even restaurants, cafes, that type of thing. So some different different rooms that we look at are like a dorm room, because usually a lot of people go into college, so we look at redoing a dorm room. We have a coffee shop part that we have one. We have a tiny house, a hotel, and then we do a lot of different DIY projects, and you also learn some steps in sewing. The next class is child development. And so in child development, we are looking from everything from conception to about age of 5. And we also volunteer in our CI classroom, and we go in and we usually are in their gym class, and we work with them once a week. We go on field trips. This class also counts as a GRCC credit if you end up going there. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot of information about kids and just kind of how they grow. And our next class is fashion design. This is brand new this year. And so it's a lot of fun. We are learning about principles and elements of design. We look at clothing, shoes, accessories. We have sewing machines that you are actually creating your own garments. And we also have the Cricut machine, which you can cut out and make different things out of too, different accessories, things like that. We look at branding and logos. Just recently we came up with our own shoes, our shoe line, so each person got to create their own shoe line. And the last one is business. So I don't teach business, but Mr. Johnson does. And so one of the things he wanted to say about business, number 1, join DECA. Number 2, if you are in need of a 4th-year math credit, check out personal finance. It counts as a 4-year credit, and it's a great class. You learn a lot, and it's everything that you're going to need for after you're out of high school. And that is it.
Good morning, Huskies. My name is Scott Kemperman. I teach in the industrial arts. I have 3 classes that I'd like to talk to you about. First is architecture. Architecture class is a class where we learn how to do a lot of drafting, which was paper and pencil, and also use the computers to do CAD work. What this entails, or the actual program, is you're going to be designing, you're going to be learning how to present your designs along the way, and then also design your future house potentially, and then there are future or there are levels beyond that that you can take as well. This is a VPA credit for a half a semester. Then the other class is engineering graphics, kind of the same application but a different industry, so engineering scope, but it also focuses a lot on design, so not just if you're going into engineering, but it also is some sort of design, like industrial design, so product design. But you learn how to present your designs on paper and then also in CAD programs. So that's also a VPA, a half semester. The other program I'd like to talk to, the last one, is Gone Boarding. This program is kind of a combination of some of what I just talked about in engineering. It's also woodworking, which is what Mr. Gallagher teaches. So there's a lot of things that go along with this class. We do projects that are, you can see in the video that there are some paddle boards, there's surfboards, there's wakeboards, there's snowboards. So we're building all of these, all in longboards and snowboards, all of these, and then we're also we're testing them out. So in that whole spectrum of design, we're going from the product of learning how to do it, designing it, we're building it, and then we're actually using it. So there's some not prerequisites, but you can take some classes that might help, such as woodworking, the engineering graphics, or art in general, or graphics art, such as something Mrs. St. Antoine would use or provide, where it's a digital photography or digital art. So all of that can impact your experience in Gone Boarding, along with videography. So some of the broadcasting or visual communications that Mr. Howard teaches, once you've done all of that, they can also enhance your experience in there. So along with all of that, there's some things that go with it where it's an experience, not just a class, that you get to potentially discover a passion that you might have along the way. So this is also a VPA credit, it's a phys ed credit, along with a potential senior math credit. So those are your options for those 3 in that class. So you just have to talk with your counselor about that, but those are the classes that I offer.